No problem.
Okay. Don't pull faces to react to things because people don't know what
No
you're
problem.
reacting to, and don't kind of comment on anything because
Threats to our city's culture.
Yeah.
Underage drinking is on the rise.
behind the scenes, so you'll think, oh, the person behind the scenes messed up. They'll just go, ha ha, look at them on the telly. So just remember how you're looking is the important thing. Let's tuck some of your wires away.
4 minutes.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. Oh, my
Always.
will be always on.
Right.
Thank
Thank you.
Yeah.
Who's doing auto cue? Okay.
It was fine last time.
Yeah, I was going to say auto cue was nice
Spot on.
speed.
Try not to talk when you're not talking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just in case the mics are up.
No problem.
They are, I think,
They're
they're
gonna be up
staying
anyway,
up for the full
so
time.
let's do this. Yeah.
Do you just want to come out while the...
Yeah. I think we should have me and Hannah in here.
They're coming out just while they're filming. And I'll shut this door.
Oh, no, it's coming out. No, not now.
Oh, that's what mine was.
Not right now, please. You got yours.
Yeah, mine's
so
in.
Faffy, aren't they?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I feel fine.
I
The
feel
only
fine
thing's
actually,
annoying
yeah.
is that this thing's falling out my ear.
Yeah, it's just the earpieces. And no, they're like sort of falling in the
If
ear.
it falls out, I'm just
So
going to leave
horrible.
it.
Cheers. Thank you. Same
Bye.
to yous. Bye.
This is funny.
It'll show by itself, it's alright.
That's just me as an old, not me.
Thank you. This is it. Live stream on YouTube for no one to watch.
Maybe get shot. Oh no, they're going to watch
shit.
it.
Oh no. It's fell out my ear.
Yours looks like proper. Oh no! How long have we got?
I don't know.
Ask how long
We've got like 2 minutes. How long we got? Yeah, I can hear you. What? Who was it? Beth King? She hasn't been in here. Or Bargain stuff hasn't been in here.
Ask her to not ring it.
Yeah, don't let them ring it either.
Bye. Thanks. Should have went the loo, really, shouldn't I?
25 minutes time and that's it.
I'm a bit scared, actually.
You can't.
Okay.
Okay.
Comfy. Imagine if that falls down.
What's going on?
It's not working.
It's not working, is it?
Not that beautiful title. I hope we're on YouTube.
I know. live or not? Right now.
We move.
Hello?
Oh. Mine says on, so. Right.
Yeah, mine says on.
Hello. I mean, that would have been more of a disaster if it actually started and the mics weren't on. Can you hear her?
Yeah, they can hear us, I think.
Respond.
What's actually gone on then? I think because they were playing around with the stuff.
The other group.
But they've just took everything off and then.
I mean, could have. It is hours 5th. They could have just like left it.
Oh, you know. Let's go out at 4:15, so.
It's gone at 4:15.
Yeah, this is
Yeah. Oh, look at that one out loud. At the end, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna like get them together and shuffle them up. And might move a bit forward, me. I feel weird.
What's going on?
Who's that talking? There's a voice that I don't recognise.
That must be a technician or somebody.
Steve.
I don't think it's today. Oh man.
Just laughing at those legs.
Beth King sabotaged our show.
Did it on purpose. Just sitting there on YouTube creasing. Yeah, you're diseased, mate. Yep.
Andrea's not in here.
No one else is in here. Apart
No.
from us, like. Right, now there's not.
Right, okay.
Okay.
2 minutes, okay.
Is it still coming out?
It's like annoying as fuck. I think it's in. It's in, it's just really not comfortable.
It feels like it's coming out, doesn't it?
It's just really not
You
comfortable.
don't want to move your head.
That's why I prefer radio, at least I've just got big pair of headphones that don't like move.
I'm dying to do some actual radio. Like, I need to tell Adam and Alicia I need to meet up and do something. Oh, that's cute.
I think we've got like just a minute to go.
Okay.
Will you tell us when we've got like 30 seconds and stuff? Cheers.
Thanks.
Right, okay.
Mike's still working, definitely. Cool. Good,
Let's
good.
do this.
Yeah. Okay,
No
cool.
problem, cheers. Coming up on today's show.
Government responds to online petition.
The dangers of online dating are exposed.
Plus, a karting championship comes to Wearside.
This is your 3 o'clock news with Ryan Smith and Hannah Banks. The government has officially responded to an online petition calling for all teachers to fully understand the autistic spectrum. It is hoped that this will improve the lives of children with special educational needs.
In a survey taken in July 2015, it was estimated that 1.3 million students in England were identified with having special educational needs. Teaching staff in nurseries, primary and secondary schools find it difficult to understand how to deal with children with special educational needs as they aren't given the proper training. However, on the 10th of March 2016, it was finalised in Parliament that it is compulsory that all education providers now must be knowledgeable about children with SEN. Lisa Maxwell is the manager of Beach Hill Nursery. She is aware of the hard work it takes to organise children with learning and behavioural problems. Here she talks to SR News about the policy benefiting the nursery.
It's Beach Hill Nursery. We're located in South Shields. We're next to the beach, we're next to the park, we're next to the shops, and we're next to the library. So it's quite local.
Do you deal with many children with SEN?
Yes, we have a few. It's more speech and language, and sometimes it can be just behaviour as well.
How do you feel that the government is going to give teaching staff the proper training to deal with children with special educational needs?
It's absolutely great for the children that you can identify and work with the needs for the children, so it's making them having a good start in life, making everything meeting their needs, so they're getting the best out of the opportunity here.
In Bolton Colliery, 17-year-old Jordan Kelly lives with his mother Beverly. Jordan was born with cerebral palsy that restricts him from a lot of physical activities. He also has mild stages of autism, which makes certain aspects of learning difficult.
I have limited muscle control and other such things, so because of that, my place of education needs to be aware, which means that they have to get certain people involved in order to make sure that my journey throughout school is as well as it can be, and that during exams special things have to be put in place in order to make sure I can cope with everything. Well, it means that people with special education needs will get exactly what they need to go through education, which will help them not only achieve what they want in life, but other people to understand this and for them to become more integrated into normal education.
But, well, it's about time, and it means if like a child's going into a normal school with no diagnosis basically, and a teacher who is trained to be able to pick up on what needs that the child does, rather than maybe saying, oh well, your child's being naughty, we'll exclude them for a couple of days or something and then bring them back in, then the same thing happened maybe a couple of weeks later.
However, in the long term, they could do better in that rather than meeting, say, every year or so, it was more regularly, so that because obviously a change every day, then they could take into account what has gone on in such space of time rather than every so often, which is better not only for me but for them, so that they know what is going on.
In our modern day, the term catfish is often used when referring to someone who uses a false identity on social media, usually convincing their victims into meeting in real life. With the growing number of online dating sites in 2016, we've seen an increase in the number of catfish victims across Britain, many with dangerous consequences.
In recent years, the number of people using online dating sites has rapidly increased, with around 7 million Brits now thought to be actively looking for romance online. With so many sites and apps to choose from, it's not surprising that it is now one of the most common ways to meet a partner. Online dating can have its dangers though, and this is something 20-year-old Caitlin Mishner knows all too well.
A couple of years ago, me and my friends made some profiles on online dating websites. It started off as just a joke, but it got quite addictive.
A male from Newcastle began to message Caitlin through the app and appeared to have common interests and was of a similar age.
He asked to meet her in Newcastle on a Saturday night. I was a bit worried at first, but I had a look onto their social media websites. He had profiles on all of those and with mutual friends, so I thought I had nothing to lose really.
Caitlin chose to meet her admirer, but chose not to tell her friends and family, avoiding any confrontation.
I was a bit embarrassed about it, a bit embarrassed to tell my friends and my families, and I thought I'm old enough to make my own decisions, so I would be okay. When I left the house, I went to the club where we were meant to meet, and when I got there, I got a message off him saying that he couldn't meet us there anymore because he'd seen his ex there and that he was in the car park outside and wanted us to meet him there. It didn't cross my mind at the time that that could be a bad idea. I just went with it. It sounds really bad, but when I got there, he wasn't there, so I hung around for about 10 minutes, but he just stopped replying to all my texts. I went to leave the car park, and as I was walking away, I heard someone shout my name. So when I turned round, I didn't recognise the person. It was a middle-aged man getting out of a car, and I was meant to meet a 20-year-old, not a middle-aged man. So I kind of realised that it wasn't the person I was expecting to meet. The first thing I thought was that I had to leave the car park and get out of this situation because he was walking towards us, trying to communicate with us, and it wasn't the person I wanted to talk to. So I rang my friends who I work with and I went and met them as they were close by, and I told them everything, and they just told us that I had to delete everything I had to do with them. I did consider calling the police, but I didn't think there was anything they could do considering it was myself who actually went and met him. It was just a bit of a shock that it wasn't the person I was expecting to meet.
2 years on, and Caitlin has sworn never to become involved with anybody online again, and wants to warn others of the dangers that chatting to an anonymous person can have.
Personally, I would never use online dating websites again because of the experience I've had. I would just say, take people with you, let people know where you're going, do your research on the person you are going with, and just be careful because you never really know who you're going to meet.
Sunderland is stepping up its attempts in bidding to become the City of Culture in 2021. It is just one of many cities across the UK which is bidding for the title. If successful, it is hoped that it will drive more visitors to the city and boost the local economy. Nadia Begum reports.
Many cities across the UK are fighting to compete for the coveted status to be crowned the City of Culture in 2021. Sunderland is just one of many cities that are bidding for the title. The National Glass Centre, located in the heart of Sunderland, is just one of the many cultural attractions that Sunderland has on offer. This centre attracts many visitors across the nation and from abroad. It offers visitors the opportunity to take part in glass blowing as well as to dine in the glass yard. Like many people of Sunderland, Chris, a specialist at the National Glass Centre, believes that Sunderland has plenty on offer.
It's got a lot going for it with culture, and it's also interesting as a kind of a place that is often forgotten about in terms of maybe the other big city here in the northeast would be Newcastle, and that often gets all the limelight when it comes to a lot of the limelight when it comes to culture. But I think if we could winning the City of Culture would be brilliant to kind of highlight what the great stuff we do here as well.
In order to win the bid to be crowned the City of Culture 2021, Sunderland has launched an array of events and festivals to attract the public to the Sunderland art and culture scene.
I would say that people come from far and wide to see exhibitions in Sunderland, and so whether it's at National Glass Centre or there's also other fantastic arts venues such as Northern Gallery for Contemporary Art, which also show really high quality contemporary art exhibitions. We also have what else have we got? We've got the Sunderland Museum Winter Gardens, and so they've got a great array of cultural venues in a small city, and we're quite a small city, I guess, and showing off how great the amount of venues for such a small place I think is really good.
Everyone can get involved in helping Sunderland win the title for 2021. The website and Facebook and Twitter pages can help you to help Sunderland become the City of Culture 2021. This is Nadia Begum reporting from Sunderland.
Dogs are a man's best friend, and according to the RSPCA, in the UK, about 1 in 2 households own a pet, with around 21 million pets owned. But when it comes to adopting, you never know who you're going to end up bonding with. Dogs with disabilities are becoming increasingly popular to own. So next time you head into a shelter for that energetic Labrador puppy, you might just leave with a little blind Shih Tzu. Yolanda Branch reports.
Bailey is a 13-year-old pedigree Shih Tzu. 3 years ago, he developed ulcers in his eyes that could only be dealt with by removing both of his eyes. Conchi, Bailey's owner, decided against the operation and let the ulcers gradually take his sight until he was completely blind.
Who cares if he's blind? Who cares? I don't really care. You know, my dog is happy, I'm happy, and there's no way on earth I'm going to give him up. No way.
Little accommodations are needed to be made when caring for a disabled dog. These changes, however, are not as big as you think they may be, and therefore, life has changed in the McMullen household in order to allow Bailey to adapt to his new way of life.
One of the things the vet told me, once the dog goes blind, not to change the furniture, so I haven't touched my furniture, stays in the same place, so the dog knows when he can actually walk, and he knows his surround very, very well.
Common misconceptions about disabled dogs are steadily being tackled by online social media accounts. 10-year-old Marnie was found by Animal Control in 2010, blind in her left eye. 4 months later, she was adopted, and soon after her owner started posting pictures of her online, she became a sensation, having a total of 1.9 million followers on Instagram, showing that any dog can have an amazing life if it's loved.
Because a dog has a disability, it's not adoptable. I don't think so. No, it's just a dog. It's a dog. I mean, there's not a difference. It's a dog. I mean, they live very happily, blind, deaf, or even with having to have the limbs amputated. They're still happy families, happy dogs. Well, I mean, my dog is happy, and why should other dog not be happy? Having a condition.
Thousands of dogs are adopted every year in the UK. The RSPCA say differences such as missing limbs often add to the appeal of a dog. They add, there is a right adopter and home out there for every animal, it just takes a little bit longer to find them.
I think that's got to be one of the cutest dogs I've ever seen.
I think it just kind of proves to show that as long as the dog's loved and kind of well looked after, that disabled dogs can just have a happy life, exactly like any other kind of dog. Still to come.
Only 56 days until Beyonce arrives at Wearside.
A karting championship comes to Wearside.
And why have vinyl sales risen?
There's only 56 days left until Beyonce arrives at the Stadium of Light to perform her Foundation World Tour. With acts such as Rihanna, Coldplay and the Red Hot Chili Peppers playing at the stadium in recent years, Beyonce is just another addition to top music pedigree to have performed on Wearside.
The extremely famous singer Beyoncé is coming to the Stadium of Light on the 28th of June. This has created a huge shock to the people of Tyne and Wear, as they have never had a person as well known to enter Sunderland. The Stadium of Light has attracted other stars such as Rihanna and Coldplay, although Queen Bee tops it all off.
Tickets sold out within a matter of hours as fans camped out to see Beyoncé. As the show is getting closer, the preparation is getting more intense and the excitement is building.
The Beyoncé fans are overwhelmed at the news and the countdown is on. Thousands of fans got tickets, although some were unlucky and unable to because of the fast sellout. Some unlucky fans have even resorted to purchasing tickets sold on eBay at a very expensive price. I spoke to one of Beyoncé's huge fans, Sarah Tchaikovsky, who was one of the fans holding a ticket.
I've been a fan of Beyoncé since Destiny's Child, since before I can remember. I can't remember not being a Beyoncé's fan. I think she's the absolute best thing ever. I absolutely am obsessed with her. That's how much I love her. I did camp out overnight in the absolute freezing temperatures to try and get tickets and still had to wait an hour before I could get some, but 100% worth it because I'm still going to see Beyoncé.
Beyoncé's concert will also bring great economic benefits to Sunderland by increasing hotel and restaurant bookings. The Hilton Hotel is located next to the Stadium of Light and is currently under construction, although will be opening in time for the concert, leading it to be very convenient for the fans attending the.
Over the last decade, motorsports have risen in popularity. With around 4,500 events every year, there's plenty to get involved in. The number of people competing in motorsports around the UK is close to 200,000 and is only rising. Every year, hundreds of students gather to compete in the British University Karting Championships to see which university comes out on top. Beth Smith reports.
With speeds up to 160 miles per hour, it's a fast, thrilling sport with thousands of people competing worldwide. Students from around the UK are competing here in Sunderland at the British University Karting Championships.
And I mean, it's a really, really great event. As you can see, we get loads and loads of students. Pretty much every major uni in the country competes in it now, which is really exciting. And it's got to the point where we had to start a rookies championship for all newer teams because there was just so much demand over the one day. So now we run over 2 days. We've got the rookies championship, which was yesterday, which is for sort of newer drivers, those just sort of getting to grips with the karts. And we've got the mains championship, which is happening at the moment, which is all the top teams in the UK racing against each other to find out who's the best.
52 universities are competing in teams of 4 in both solo sprints and team endurance.
Quite good to be here because it's the first time in years that we've come here, and it's good to come back up to the north. It's a really nice track. I'd really like trying the drive, but it looks like we might get that in a bit. My race was good, it's good fun. It is a nice track, well marshalled, and yeah, as a team we seem to be doing all right. It's going okay. It's a bit of a challenge to keep it on, but yeah.
So my race was pretty bad. I started 14th, ended up 31st, so got taken out on the first lap. I held it horizontally for a while with opposite lock and just kept my foot in, but it wasn't going to last for too long. But I don't think our team's having a very good day today, so hopefully Southampton will come back stronger in the final rounds.
My day's been good, the rest of the team's hasn't been, but yeah, I'm pretty bad. I got a 6, so pretty happy. Hopefully the endurance will be better, we're usually better at those, so.
Winners or losers, the atmosphere at the event is like no other. Hundreds of students with similar interests competing for one title.
The most interesting thing about BUKC events is, when you go to a motorsport event, a karting event, it's a very singular sport, so everyone's out for themselves. Whereas the BUKC is a team sport, so you get these groups of guys and girls, of course, coming along. They're all students as well, so they're all out to have a really, really good time. There's loads of banter flowing all over the place, and I mean you can see when you saw the podium celebration a minute ago, everyone's laughing, everyone's joking, having a good time. I think that's the best bit. That atmosphere that you get at the BUKC is unique to motorsport as a whole. I think that's definitely the best thing about the whole thing.
Students travelled the length of the country to come to Sunderland and compete in the 15th year of this competition, to then see which university comes out on top.
In other sport, Sunderland managed a 1-1 draw at Stoke this weekend. Anajovic opened the scoring for Stoke on 15 minutes, but in the last minute of injury time, Jermaine Defoe scored a penalty to level the scores.
Newcastle had the better weekend of the two sides. They beat Crystal Palace at St James's Park. Andros Townsend opened the scoring with a brilliantly placed free kick. Palace had the chance to level the scores when Johan Cabai missed a penalty. The result takes Newcastle out of the relegation zone, 1 point above Sunderland, who had the game in hand.
And last night, Leicester won the Premier League title. It's the club's first title in its 132-year history. The championship was confirmed by the club following a 2-2 draw at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Spurs. It is the fairy tale ending to the season that Leicester have had. And finally, once it was the most popular way listening to music. Before MP3s and CDs, even before cassette tapes, there was vinyl. Taking over 100 years to develop, vinyl saw its decline in the 1990s. However, it has since seen a massive increase in sales over the past few years. A Sunderland music shop owner has stated it's all he ever sells now. I went down to find out more.
From the 1950s to the early 1990s, it was the most popular way of listening to and owning music. Having largely died off due to the rise of CDs and then downloadable MP3 music, vinyl has suddenly made a comeback in recent years.
Well, I'm as surprised as anybody. Nobody expected them to become popular again. I must admit that's all I'm selling now.
Once a drummer in the Toy Dolls, Marty Yule is the co-owner of Hot Rats Records. Having existed in the Sunderland city centre for over 20 years, seeing a recent growth in the market of vinyl is obviously a pleasing thing for an independent record shop.
I think people just want a nice physical format, and it never got any better than vinyl, really. Artwork, sound quality, if you invest in a decent hi-fi, yeah, it's the best.
Last year, over 1.3 million records were sold, a 20-year high and 1 million more than what was sold just 5 years ago. The idea of downloadable MP3 music was so that owners did not have shelves full of CDs and records. They could store everything they own on one hard drive, laptop or iPod. So what is the appeal to vinyl?
I think it's the very unique sound to it. I mean, in comparison to modern age CDs, the sound quality is just a lot greater. And I also feel that having a physical bit of music rather than just a download is common nowadays. It's just a lot more satisfying having an actual collection you can go to and look through.
Well, I guess the warmth of the sleeves, art-wise, a fantastic 12 by 12 format. And originally in the day, obviously, a lot of artwork was produced for that 12 by 12 sleeve and doesn't kind of work on a CD sleeve.
For the last 20 years, vinyl to many will have been stored in attics under the stairs. Now, previous generations will be able to pass down their collections to new vinyl listeners. So, will this old form of music last forever?
Well, I tried it last time and it didn't work, did it? So it seems like it's here to stay. I would like to think so. It is a beautiful thing. So, yeah, it should be around for another 100 years.
Whatever happens to vinyl, it is fair to say that it's quite possibly the most satisfying way of listening to music, and one that perhaps will never die.
I mean, I can't believe how much of a comeback vinyl's actually made. I don't own any vinyl, do you?
Yeah, I do, and I think it's sort of like you get a much warmer sound and more personal sound than what you do kind of listening to MP3. I mean, obviously streaming sites are up and coming, but I think it's a much better way of listening to music.
I might have to give it a try. That's it for the news now, so over to Veronica for the weather.
Moving on to May, we say goodbye to the very strange weather that occurred at the end of April. Today in Sunderland it's 13 degrees with sunny spells and scattered showers, although there may be a chance of heavy rain, but later on the showers will become gradually lighter. Tonight it'll become rather chilly and the showers will die away, leaving clear spells and light winds, with a minimum temperature of 2 degrees. As the week goes on, it'll become mainly dry with sunny periods and a lot warmer, with a highest temperature of 17 degrees. And that's it from me, back to the studio at Hannah and Ryan.
That's it from us for now.
Goodbye.